Welcome to Sodo Creations, where we make your imagination a reality. Today we are bringing to you another design. Today we're going to be working outside. So I have a customer who reached out to me from another state because she was coming in for her daughter's graduation and wanted a balloon backdrop. They are going to be renting an Airbnb and having a pool party for the graduation. It's daytime party, and so she contacted me to do the balloons, and this is the color scheme. We have black, we have gold, and we have this light pink. So I am using the gold is Simpertex, black is Tuftex, and the pink is the Qualitex. So like I said before, I'm still trying to use up the rest of my balloons. So it was an honor to be able to decorate this way and be a part of this huge event. I'm inflating the balloons the same way I usually do. I have the 16 and the 11-inch balloons because I'm going for that thicker balloon backdrop. So I'm twisting 3 of the pairs, so 6 balloons in a cluster to design this backdrop. So I have all my colors here, trying to figure out which color to alternate or which ones to go, because when I color block, I like to alternate the same colors so that you have a representation of the colors as you look at the backdrop. So I have all that inflated. I'm using the new pump that I showed you in the last couple of videos. One person commented that they wanted a review on the pump. So I will see if you guys want the review. Let me know if enough of you are interested, then I'll record the review on the pump. So far I like it, except for the foil balloon function, and I'm still to play with it more. So once I am sure about my review, then I can do that. But let me know in the comments if you're interested in that. Now we're inflating the 5-inch balloons. This I like about the pump because the tip is very narrow. You can easily slide your 5-inch balloons and it saves so much time. So I'm working on that. I'm inflating a lot of the 5-inch balloons because I plan to have 3 ropes in 3 different colors. So that's what I'm working on now. With the 260 cube balloons, we're going to pull from the closed end to close the 260Q. You're compressing it and tying the end as you get to the end so that it's flat. I've shown a short video on that already, so check out the channel for that. So now you want to tie the end of the 260Q to your pair of 5-inch balloons, and then you're just going to alternate like a crisscross or cross manner, wrapping it around the previous pair of balloons. So you don't want to over wrap, and you want to pull on that 260Q so the balloons stay in place, because if it's loose, it's going to get displaced and you're not going to have the pattern we have. Of course, we're not creating too much of a structure with this one, but you can still see that the balloons align, and that's because I'm pulling on that 260Q to make sure it's tight but not too tight where it creates more of a grape cluster. I still want some structure. So we're done with the pink. I'm going to show you how I pull the 260Q and tie the knot at the end so that the air doesn't refill it. So you're pulling from the closed end to the open end to take out that air and then tie. Then I tie 2 together. Depending on the length you're going for, you're going to just tie it. You can add more as you go if you like. So I'm gathering all the rest that are floating around, and then you just keep twisting. Not twisting, you're alternating how you lay it. I have a really good detailed video, I would say, on how I do this. I'll link that below for you guys to watch if you're interested in creating more of these ropes. And that one explains a lot detailed. We have a close-up of the design. So once this is done, I'm tying another piece just to extend that a little more. Like I said, you can make this as short or as long as you want, and you are able to get what you need, and then you tie the end. Options of attaching it, you can leave some of the 260Q on each end to use that to wrap around your backdrop. The easiest way I found is just use a rubber band in the position that you want it to attach, and like the filler balloons attach. We are at the venue. I'm showing you the backyard of the Airbnb. That is where we're going to install our backdrop. I brought the pipe and drape kit because they do want a shimmer wall. and I'm deciding how wide I need it. I need to secure this. You always want to make sure your bases are tight so that your backdrop is not loose. Because this shimmer wall was already set up at the venue, I did not want to take every single piece apart and come assemble here. So I split it in 4 pieces and just left that other piece hanging on the crossbar. So now I'm going to attach it. I have 30-pound weights to hold the base of the backdrop in place. My plates are pretty wide on the bottom, so it would be able to hide just fine. So that's what I'm doing right there. Today was about 80 degrees. It was very, very hot. I'm not dressed for the weather, and I had to hurry up because I had to give a tour at the venue, and this party was also starting in a couple of hours. So I wanted to make sure I get here in time to get all their backdrop fully set up. I have my zip tie here to reattach, but first I'm connecting those 2 top pieces and then I'll attach it. Like I said, I split it in 4 so it's easier and it saves me time, and luckily I was able to put it in the van okay to transport. With this one piece, I'm not securing it because I know I have to make more adjustments. I do want to cover that upright on the left because I'm not going to put balloons all the way at the top. They did send me an inspo picture that had these colors, so I'm trying my best to design similar to the inspo picture. I always tell the client that it's not going to look exactly like the picture. Of course, their fullness will be the same, but the colors and the design in terms of how they're laid out is not always the exact replica. So, and everybody is pretty understanding of that. Of course, I also have to put my own touch because we are pseudo creations, right? You can't completely replicate someone else's design. So here I am. I'm trying not to bring the balloons out here because it's very hot and windy. I don't want them to get carried away or pop while I'm designing. So I'm assembling. I have them in the chair back there in the back patio area so that they don't fly away. So I'm attaching the top. I don't have the rest of the shimmer panels connected because I want to put the balloons first so I can raise it up. I know this is the height I can reach. So I'm starting by just attaching the balloons. Once I have the section of the balloons attached that I want and that shimmer wall in place, then I'll raise the backdrop so that I can attach the bottom pieces of the shimmer wall. Normally with the shimmer wall in a venue, I'll put a similar color of the shimmer wall in the backs of drapes so that you see the shimmer wall more, it stands out more. But because of the wind, I had to leave it open so that the wind can go through and it does not blow it away. Even though I have weight, sometimes it can get pretty windy and you lose your whole backdrop. So that's why I don't have the curtains or the drapes behind it. So I'm continuing to extend the balloons here by creating the garland and attaching to the back. Once we're there, then we can raise it up. Mind you, I am not yet attached on that left upright because I do want to make sure it's in the position I want it to be before I secure the whole garland on the upright. So now we can attach our shimmer wall panels. I have that piece. I'm just making sure that the backdrop is tall enough where it's just right there touching the floor. And we still have to secure the shimmer wall to the left side of the upright. So I'm still adjusting the backdrop so that it's even with the floor. The good thing is that I'm working with a shimmer wall, which is a perfect square. So I can just gauge with my eyes and not really have to look at my pipe and drape or try to eyeball. If your pipe and drape is like mine and it's edged, it's easy to adjust it because you have your numbers that show you exactly where you are. But if it's not and you're working with a shimmer wall, it doesn't matter. As you notice here, my shimmer wall on the right corner is open because I use 2 boxes and that's what it gives me. But it's usually fine with designs like this because I am covering it anyway. So you'll see how I try to fit the balloons in that corner so that it doesn't show, and it worked out just fine. So now we need to attach balloons on that left side, which is what the inspo picture shows. They sent me a picture already of what they want. I'm using a 260Q on the upright, tying that through the shimmer wall to the upright, then creating a loop to attach it to the backdrop. Now I do this in 3 points here so that it's nice and secure and it does not come loose, especially when it's windy. It doesn't blow that piece of the balloon to the left. I'm also making sure that all my shimmer panels are turned and I don't have holes showing through. We're gonna continue with the right side here by filling up the base. Now that we have the height we want, we can finish that base and secure that to the upright that's on that side. Remember, I had this side open a little bit where the shimmer wall was, so I have to be very careful covering the upright there and the gap that's on that side. So you're seeing me here attach everything, and of course we're gonna make it wider. This time I'm not just using 4 balloons to widen it up. Someone asked in one of the other videos how many balloons I use to extend. A lot of times it just depends how I want the design to look, but because I'm really creating that full effect here, being an outdoor event, I want to take up space that I probably can't take up fully, but I'm using the 6 balloons in a cluster here to just make it bigger. So once I have that secure, I'm going to go to the back and with a 260Q attach that to the corner on that right bottom corner to the balloon, and you can see where it tightened things up right there. Now I'm trying to decide where I want to fit this as a filler, and I just want to create some contrast. So with the rubber band on 2 ends of the rope, I'm going to attach that to the backdrop. Next, we're going to figure out where to put the gold, and I decided to take off the filler gold here and then put the rope in its place. The gold was a bit longer, which was great. It worked out fine. I was just standing there trying to figure out how exactly I want to position this gold, and you'll see what I end up doing here. It actually extends the fullness of the balloon on that right side. I just use 260Qs or rubber bands and just secure that in place. So that's where we are. Let me give you a different view here so we can decide what we're designing here. Now adding my regular filler balloons here, and we have the black. So again, position wise, not yet sure where I want to go, but I'm trying to see how I can attach the black one. I'm just going to wrap that around with a 260Q and use the 260Q to secure that in place. I raised the backdrop and I forgot my ladder. Sometimes I'll bring, when I remember, a ladder with me on installs. I haven't done that in a while, but I realized I forgot it here, and I'm using a chair that I found outside that's sturdy enough for me to step on, that I'm not going to break or I'm not going to fall off of. So here we are attaching the black piece, and you can see the difference it makes in the backdrop from just a regular nice looking backdrop to an extraordinarily elegant backdrop, right? It just creates that nice, of course you're inflating a lot more 5-inch balloons, but it's totally worth it. So here we are adding the 5-inch clusters, the little ones, to the backdrop, different areas, and just filling. So it's a filler, so we're filling the gaps, we're filling the garland, we're ending the piece so that it's nice and full. I still have to inflate some balloons to attach to the pool chairs that are out there. They wanted some more color around the pool, so I'll do that. I don't think I showed that on video. Maybe I'll attach some pictures so you guys can see if I still have them. But here we are, just putting all the fillers on both sides, of course, and finishing up our design. If you are not subscribed, I'll appreciate it if you click that subscribe button and like if you like the video. Check out our other videos as well. We decorate for various events. We own an event center as of last year, and we show how we set up for various events at the venue as well as outside the venue. As you can see, today we're outdoors in an Airbnb. So if that's the kind of content you want to see, you're in the right place. Please join us by subscribing and liking, and of course, if you'd consider sharing, we really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for being here. To everyone who is already subscribed, who has already liked, and who shares the videos, thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you so much. Here I'm inflating more balloons, or there's the pair to fill that gap I talked to you guys about. You can't see from here, but I could see that corner, and I'm just gonna fill that right there. And we should be pretty much done with the design. I think I add a couple of touches here and there, adjust some balloons. They didn't want any words on the backdrop. This is pretty much what they sent, and that's what we did. So we are wrapping up here. Some of the filler balloons, you have to tie half a 260Q on each end to get it around the balloon so that you can fit it on. Otherwise, you won't be able to fit it around the bigger balloons, the 16 inches. Now I'm just spraying some of the balloon shine to give it that shine. You can see how it glows a little more because the sun just oxidizes some of the balloons. Not the pink does, is not affected much, but and the black sometimes need a little help in the sun. This is the final look. I added more balloons on the top of that left cluster just to taper it up towards the right side. And you can see how it looks nice. I mean, here is the backyard. I just added a few of the clusters like they asked. On the chairs as well, I'll show you a close-up of the chairs right there. So they just wanted a few attached there, and they were very happy with the design, and I'm thankful.